Hello, mi gente bella. Hi, beautiful people. I couldn't let this week pass without coming on board and talking a little bit about the new moon in Cancer. I'm super excited about this moon. I know that if you are online and if you're interested in this topic, you've probably already heard Chani's view of it and other astrologers. But there's something that I have not heard anyone talk about that really was downloaded to me as I was looking at the astrology of this week. So this episode's not going to be long, but I think that it's important for us to talk about like a little bit about what happened, a little bit about what is happening. Now, when we say something like, "Oh, it's a beautiful event," or "It's a beautiful moon to create," etc., that doesn't mean that it surpasses like the systemic imbalances that we have. We can still create opportunities and some healing and maybe some movement forward in our lives, in our communities, and somehow in the world. But it doesn't mean, obviously, that it's like presto changeo, all the miracles have shifted everything. And I know that you all know that. But sometimes people talk to me and they're like, "Oh, so why didn't the new moon do this?" And I'm like, "Girl, the moon only has about the power that it has. Así que no hay que exagerar el poder de lo que puede hacer. We don't want to exaggerate the power of what certain astrological energies can do. At the same time, knowing that because we are in Neptune in Aries, Saturn in Aries, there are a lot more wars going on. There is a lot more fighting, backfighting. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of aggression going on. And that's in the collective of the planets that are not personal planets, right? The collective planets. But let's talk specifically about what happened this week. So that was just, I guess, like a commentary, like, okay, it's a miracle movement this week, or there was a miraculous thing that happened. At the same time, keep it together. We're still in for the long haul in terms of the world and peace. And of course, all of you know you're not naive, but we also believe in miracles. And so keeping our heart open to miracles in a way that doesn't disappoint us when they don't happen on our own timing, right? So this June 24th, Cancer made a rare, powerful alignment of the Sun and Jupiter in Cancer, right? It was a true cosmic high point. In fact, Kazimi means Jupiter's in the heart of the Sun, receiving amplified energy, clarity, and vitality. Think, right, clarified expansion. So if you've been feeling lighter, or if you've gotten some downloads or some awarenesses, or maybe you've been too busy, now's the time to be like, okay, let me take un minuto. Let me take un momento for me. Let me take a moment for myself. And let me get those downloads that I've been needing, or let me get the clarity that I need right now. Because obviously, in cycles of our life, there are moments where we're in action, we're doing too much. And then there's a moment where we're like, okay, wait a minute. What did I just do? What is happening? How do I feel about it? What's going on? At least that's how I feel with the people that I know. We're all moving so fast and so much is happening in our lives. Now, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Jupiter is the planet of expansion, so it expands anything it touches. It can expand the good, it can expand the bad, but usually it does add a layer of blessing. So it means blessings, growth, abundance, emotional depth, and especially potent here in Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. It is a sign of the mother, of nurturing ourselves, hard shell, soft center, tending to our empath, um, like sometimes drain, right? Like when we get too drained from being an empath and feeling all the things, sintiendo demasiado, more, it highlights self-care, it highlights our home, it highlights ancestral knowledge. Because think about it. When you think of our home, the roots of our home, really beyond the four walls, the ceiling, on the floor, it's the roots of who we are, where we come from. So Cancer also talks about ancestral wisdom. If we can cleanse and clear and really pay attention, right, it will come through more. And it's a whole bunch of blessings. So on that day, I actually got some really good news, which I'm not going to share yet. But some of you know that I've been doing, at least for the last 5 years, for the last 14 years, I've been doing leadership training with teens. That's part of my business. But now, and then I've expanded into adults. And now I've been doing a lot of, I don't mean now, because when I say now, it's like I've been doing it for 5 years, really. So, but now I'm focusing on it more. I'm doing improv-based leadership programming and guiding those workshops and guiding those spaces. I was in Ohio State University a month ago, and I was just in Holly, PA, training 31 international camp counselors. That was amazing. If you want to know more, just go over to improv-unleashed.com. If your business, if your nonprofit, if you can use it, your family can use it, you could always bring me on board to do that. So yes, I've been focusing on that. I got the energy and I got news around a really great opportunity. So I'm so excited about it. But I also got certain awarenesses, certain understandings like, why is it that I've been so shadow bound online? And I know why, right? But I've been so shadow bound online, but yet in some ways I've become so visible. So this is a time for us to take a moment and look at our lives with a little bit of objectivity. Like, why is this happening? And yet this is happening. Like, people have lost their jobs, but then they feel like they're getting healthier somehow. And they're like, how does that correlate? I should be stressed. Or me, so much focus on the arts, so much focus on performing and teaching and getting people to play and connect to their freedom through play. And I'm like, but yet I'm shadow banned online, but the visibility is growing. And so there's a lot of these things in our lives where something is happening, even though that's happening. And even though maybe we lost our job, or maybe we're worried about our job, maybe our jobs are fine, we're losing our funding, like things are shifting, there's still good things happening. So this is a really good time for us. And that happened this Tuesday. Yesterday, we went into new moon in Cancer, right? So with new moon in Cancer, let me check on some things that I have here because I'm like, I don't know. Okay, here it goes. New moon in Cancer. I took some notes and now I'm like, ¿Qué pasó? It went away. So with new moon in Cancer, the thing that I haven't seen anybody talk about, yeah, that's why I started this. I started this because I was like, wait, I've read things, I know things, I've studied the thing itself. The thing that it really hit me with is capacity. We're going to talk about that in a minute. So yesterday, the new moon went into the sign of Cancer. New moon is when the sky is dark, all we can see are stars if we dare to look. And even though the moon is still there, that's what we see. And so, astrologically, energetically, spiritually, metaphysically speaking, what it does, it allows for us to do something to clear and cleanse the last 6 months because it's a new moon. Every new moon begins another 6 month cycle. Last month, 2 weeks ago, we had a full moon. That full moon when Sag was closing the cycle of 6 month intentions. So this new moon is we need to close the last cycle. And that could be as simple as cleansing your house with sage or some herb that you like, or lavender or agua florida, right? If you work with that, ringing a bell, right? Because sound clears energy. Opening the door, going, bye, everybody, bye, everything that no longer serves, right? We need to clear the energy. You don't need to make it so complicated. It could be in the shower. It could be a specific bath or baño. There's tons of them around, but it could also you just be taking a bath in a shower going, okay, I'm releasing what no longer serves and I'm opening up to the good. So when it's in the sign of Cancer, as I talked about, it's about finding comfort, tending to our home, our roots, feeling the security from within, and then tapping into our inner world, because Cancer is like kind of like super intuitive. The thing is, sometimes its own emotions can get in its own way and it will not be able to listen to its intuition because it's not feeling safe. So how do you get into a place where you feel safer, even dealing with everything that's happening in the world and in your own personal life? Is it cleansing your house? Is it clearing your house? Is it adding meditation? Is it joining a group? What is it? What can you do for yourself now to help you feel more rooted, more calm, more connected to your intuition? It's really highly important because Jupiter, that happened on the 24th, the Kazemi, right, we talked about, is now active under this Cancer new moon. So it's an enhancer of all the energies. If we drop in and just feel really overwhelmed, which could be good too, because then we feel it and we feel it and we move through it. But if you're staying stuck in it, please do a banyu, a clearing, a cleansing. It's really important for us now, this week, if you have a moment, or even now, here with me, to close your eyes for a moment, take a breath, and be like, what am I ready to release from the last 6 months? Or maybe longer. And what am I truly ready to bring into my life? Of course, for me, number one is always peace on earth, social justice, and an end to the wars, right? So that's really like imperative for me, because I know that we're all existing under these systems that are not fair, that are not positive, that are depressing us, that are harming people, that are stressing everybody out, and some people more than others. And so when we ask for peace, when we ask for social justice, when we ask for people kind of reminding themselves and each other, that we're really one family, that we're really one whole big human family here. That's my first prayer. The second most personal one, right? And that is personal too, because the thing that affects everybody affects us. But taking a moment and being like, what is a dream that I want to manifest? Do I need a new job? Am I looking to change my relationship, heal my relationship? Am I needing to start to work out? Do I have to take care of myself better? Do I need to go to the doctor? What is it that I need to do in order to work on myself, or in order to open my eyes to a new opportunity? Because it's not all work, 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 work on ourselves. It's also just opening our hearts to a new opportunity. And so, because the last 6 months are ending from that first new moon that happened, new moon in Sag 6 months ago, now we're creating a new cycle. This is the new moon in Cancer. What area of our lives are we going to choose to nurture with Cancerian energy? Where are we going to water, nurture, grow, focus on? And the other part, the thing that really called me to share with you, is something that we don't talk about a lot. A lot of people are like, oh, you go to New York, you do this, you do that. And then I tell them, somebody said, oh, I want to go with you. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm on a 5 a.m. train. And they're like, what? And then I teach, I sleep there, and the next morning I teach, and then I hop on a train, I come back. You want to do that with me? They're like, oh no. And so what happens is sometimes people are really curious about what we have, about our relations, of our children, the things that we do, the work that we do, the travel that we do. But not everybody's willing to do the work, right? To do the work that it takes to create the lives that we've created. Now, some people have gotten certain privileges, certain lives, but many of us have worked and made decisions in order to live the life that we're living. Whether it's the career that you chose, whether it's the work, dealing with the marriage ups and downs, raising your children, dealing with those ups and downs, building an online business, following a hobby, right? And so some people are like in a year or two with improv, and they're like, I want to teach, I want to teach. And I'm like, can you breathe a minute? Can you learn more? I've been doing this 8.5 years. I've been teaching over 5.5 years, and yet I'm always learning. And so what I wanted to really focus on in this session, besides those questions of what do I want to nurture? What am I focusing on that I want to grow in the next 6 months? It's developing the capacity to actually hold the thing that you're asking for. Because a lot of us ask for a relationship, but then we haven't done the healing work. So when the person shows up, our heart isn't open. A lot of us are like, oh, I want to do this, but then we haven't taken care of our bodies or our minds or our spirit, and then we can't even do it. I knew somebody that really wanted their book deal and their book tour, but didn't take care of their health. So when the book tour came up, they kept fainting, like their sugar levels was off, like they weren't okay. And I'm not putting them down or blaming them in any way. I'm just saying that these are examples of us asking for our dream, asking for the fruition, the fulfillment, the blossoming of our goals, and then also not taking care of ourselves. So then we do not have the capacity to hold that. I was telling somebody that if I didn't perform all the time like I have the last 8 years, I don't know that it would have been as easy to be able to shoot this film that I'm in. So I'm in a film called River City Stories. It's an indie. They've shown 1 hour of it last year at the Harrisburg Fringe Festival. And this year they're showing the part where I'm in, right? And I'm a lead in a particular story. But I don't think that I would have been able to do it had I not had the capacity to stand on stage for 2 hours and do 3 shows, to go and teach classes, because there's an endurance that we all need. We need endurance as parents. We have to have endurance for our marriages, right? I know people who've been married a long time are like, girl, we know it. You know it. There's endurance. There's a capacity that we develop. Sometimes people in my classes for intuition development are like, oh, I want to do what you do. I want to do what you do. And I'm like, start just reading people for free. No, I don't. I want to charge. I'm like, just read people for free. Read 10 people a week, 15 people a week. Just do it. Get the testimonials. Keep moving, because you have to develop a capacity. We can admire the things other people are doing. We could say, oh, I want to sing like that person. I want to do that. We also need to do the work. So I don't mean to add more to your plate, but just as you're choosing your priorities, or maybe reassessing what you want to put energy into, what you want to nurture in, also remember to nourish and nurture yourself, mind, body, and spirit. So when the opportunities and the doors open, right, the moment for you to shine comes through, that you feel that you're ready, that you feel that you have the capacity to do it. So let's nurture our capacity. Let's tend to ourselves as best as we can. I know it's really hard right now. And you don't have to do, how do you nurture capacity? If you really want to run a 5K, well, first start by walking or jogging, right? It's like taking the baby steps to the thing to create the foundation. So when we have to build, the foundation is sturdy. And that could be drinking more water, eating more healthily, I've been trying to get more sleep for decades, people. Thank God last night I got 7. Usually I get like anywhere from 3 to 6, right? And that's just how I am. That's how it is. But I'm always working on it. And so how do we do that? If I can't move and walk outside because it's raining or there's a lot of heat, I walk inside the house. I'm not like, well, I can't walk because it's hot. No, I walk around the house, boop, 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 even if it's in circles, because I know that in my work, even though it's stationary, it's at home, I also have to travel. There's a retreat, there's this, there's that. Let's go speak here. Let's go do that. Let's teach. When I teach improv, I'm standing for 3 hours. I'm running up and down the aisle, going up to the stage, explaining, running back. And so what do you need to do? And capacity is not just physical, right? Physical with sleep, with water, with movement. It's also spiritual. If you are sitting here weighed down, carrying on and taking on everybody's stuff, and you don't cleanse and you don't clear and you don't put up boundaries, it's harder for you to have the capacity to be able to step into the things that you're wanting to, whether it's a relationship or the next job. So how do we develop our capacity? And unfortunately, I just got this download, like we've developed a capacity to survive things, right? Which is overwhelming. Like the news is overwhelming, what's happening. And even with all that, let's just take that moment and be like, where can I nurture myself? Where can I nourish myself? So as my life evolves and it progresses, I'm ready to hold the thing. Like if you're wanting to get pregnant, like go to the doctor, check everything out. See, do you have to take a vitamin? Do you have to take care of yourself? And that's what I mean is developing the capacity is really creating the foundation so we can truly, truly grow, our dreams can grow and take flight. I'm sending you so much love. Déjeme saber. If you're looking for a reading, I still have $97 30-minute specials. If you'd like to look at the astrology for the next 6 months, reach out. There's still Astro Potentials. I never took it off. It's a special for $150. I have an amazing retreat coming up, my people. It is amazing. It's the 6th year. It's here in Pennsylvania, Duncannon, Pennsylvania, at the Amidst Retreat Center. I have 6 people already going who are ready from my School of the Healing Artes, all Latinas so far, women of color. Oh no, there is somebody here who's white coming from the area. And of course it's open to everybody. Just letting you know who's coming. But all of the people are actually from the school. They're spiritual, they're open, they're supportive, they're loving. I never increase the rate. So there's still a payment plan for $150 a month, right? For the $700. For the 2.5 days that you get, a healing session, you get a forest walk, you have 150 acres, there's a sacred labyrinth. There's so much. There's deep healing work. There's also joyful work. We're going to do improv for healing. We do so much. People leave the retreat. And if you go under Vanessa Codorniu YouTube, which I'll add under this, which actually you'll be watching this on Vanessa Codorniu YouTube. Hello. You'll see all of these beautiful testimonials that people have left. People keep coming back to them. So I still have about 4 more spaces. I'd love to have you. Let me know. And it's happening for the fall equinox. And because I changed it from the spring, and it's happening from the 19th to the 21st of September. So let me know. Mucho amor. Thank you. Gracias.